Have you ever thought about the fact that in literally just 3 seconds of your time, you could earn over $100 to your account? Yeah, maybe right now you're thinking, I'm talking nonsense, that this can't be real and it's just impossible. But in this video, I'm gonna show you everything quickly. And I think this will be the main proof that anything can happen in our lives. But here, the main question is whether it's even worth taking advantage of such opportunities, even if they're handed to us directly. So in this video, we're going to talk about trading and specifically about trading on Pocket Option. By the way, I'll leave a link to the site down below this video. As you can see, my balance here is about $13,000. And that's on OTC currency pairs. Recently, Pocket Option added a feature. Now you can open a trade for just 3 seconds. So here, we can choose how many seconds we want to set the trade for, either a minute, an hour, or even several hours. I'll be honest, I might immediately throw off many people's expectations, but I'm into this type of trading. It's not even that I'm skeptical, but actually quite negative. When you open a trade, it is very important to understand that you can indeed make money, you can also lose, but when you open a trade for 3 seconds, you cannot have any strategy, you cannot have any discipline. And basically, it all just turns into gambling. That is, your level of excitement, so to speak, will definitely increase. And in any case, with a very high probability, you'll end up in the red and I never recommend these 3-second trades to anyone, but in this video, I want to demonstrate it. So let's say, to show it clearly, so I'm not just making empty claims, because people will immediately say to me, why would they add it then? Why do platforms add this feature? That's really a question for them. What we need to do first is understand. For example, when I trade with the guys in our web club, by the way, I'll leave a link to my Telegram channel below this video. We have one of the largest trading communities, so be sure to join us. We chat there all the time. I also post news analysis there as well as my own signals. So when I trade there with the guys, I usually open all my trades for 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, so when we open trades on that kind of time frame, first of all, it really helps us analyze the market well. Even 1-minute candles were great there, and you can really do a proper analysis too. And even if some news comes out, at least you have time to get ready for it. But at the same time, when we trade so short term that we open positions for just 3 seconds, all of that just goes out the window. So basically, the only possible strategy that might work for 3-second trades is just catching sharp impulses or sudden reversals. Let's open 10 trades in a row right now, each for $100, and see what results we get. Yeah, obviously, 10 trades isn't enough to say for sure that we'll have a good win rate, even if we do get one, but I just wanted to show you. I'll say right away that you can only open these kinds of trades on the OTC market. I've made separate videos about OTC markets on my YouTube channel, and I don't recommend trading on them either. So, for example, if we open a regular currency pair like EUR/USD, the minimum position opening time is 1 minute. That's actually the same as on any other platform. Basically, the OTC market is essentially a weekend market. Here, you can even set it, as I already showed, to as little as 3 seconds. So let's open a position here, for example, one for a decrease. Look how quickly our trade is completed. The first one is in profit. So you see, it's possible to make money from $100. You can earn $92 with the second trade. I closed this one in profit too, guys, as you can see. We jumped in sharply on the impulse, placed the trade, and look, again, it bounced back sharply. I'm opening another position. So far, you could say 3 out of 3 have gone perfectly. Let's open one more position for a decrease. Imagine if we get 10 out of 10 now. If that happens, I'll honestly be surprised. Great, look, we're catching it again. Here comes the impulse. Let's go with the new candle. Let's see what the new candle will be, and then we'll open another trade together. But why? Okay, let's open one more position down right now. Another win, guys. What is this? I'm going to record this. You know, this might turn into a video where it turns out you only need 3 seconds to trade. Again, I'm opening a position for a decrease here. Why for a decrease? I'm honestly surprised, guys. Why am I opening for a decrease? Because I see that the candle is moving this way, it has potential to drop, and the market overall is up here. Look, we're opening another position. I think we'll even open more trades so that everything is clear, so to speak. But it's already not looking good. In theory, the market should be falling right now. But right now, since we have a correction within 3 seconds, naturally, we can't catch anything. So during this time, of course, we end up with a loss. Look, I've already opened. How many positions did we have at $100 each this time? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them are in profit. Well, actually, that's pretty good. Not that statistics. Let's open a few more, because everything is happening so fast anyway. Look, since we understand that this is our upper high, if I were opening longer positions, I would definitely open them for a drop. So here, I'll open them the same way. Alright, here we go. Position number 13. One more. Position number 14. This one's in profit too, surprisingly. Position number 15. Also in profit. Position 16, unbelievable, also in profit. Position 17, guys. Well, honestly, let's sum it up now. Obviously, you can see I'm showing you all this on impulses, eh? Showing you position 18, surprisingly, position 19, and let's open position 20 together. All 20 positions. Guys, we've got some really good stats here. Honestly, I'll tell you straight up. The stats are really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, that's right, 20 trays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Out of 20 trades, more than 14 were successful. Honestly, to my surprise, the win rate is really, really good. So our win rate turned out to be 70%. That's pretty solid. But why don't I recommend trading like this? Maybe, if you have money to spare, you can throw those dollars around however you want, and you don't mind losing anything, then as a tool to catch a sharp move, it could work. For example, you see a sudden bounce happening, maybe because of some news. Or you see a sharp drop happening, and at the same time, you realize that, say, in a minute, the situation could change dramatically. Or maybe in 20 to 30 seconds? Or you want to open a position right during the news? Probably. In situations like that, it might even make sense to use it, but again, I'll repeat, only if you're trading on the OTC market. For example, I'm against this. I've said it a million times and explained it. If you haven't seen my video yet, I'll say it again. Be sure to click on the prompts, either here or here. There, I explain the OTC market in as much detail as possible, and why I don't recommend trading there at all. But I understand that. On the other hand, for many people, those 3 seconds will turn into, well, kind of gambling. And to be honest, it makes me a little sad because, for example, I've been trading on Pocket Option myself for a long time. I really think it's one of the best platforms out there right now. But it makes me a little sad that they're adding so many gamification elements. On the one hand, they're really trying to please users in every way, and that's exactly why I understand why they're adding things like the multis market, because a lot of people, for example, can't trade otherwise. There, on weekdays, many people trade during the day, and on weekends, many trade in the evening, when it's already impossible to trade on the regular market. I get that. On the one hand, they probably want to please the users. But on the other hand, by trying to please everyone, they're turning some aspects into what are basically just gambling games. Of course, you can share your opinion in the comments. Have you ever tried trading this way? But I think that even though we closed our positions with a 70% win rate this time, you have to keep in mind, first of all, that I have experience in trading. Secondly, you need to understand that, as I showed you, I was basically placing right at the moment when I saw either a big wick or realized that a reversal was about to happen, which is exactly what happened to us. So a lot of factors kind of just lined up by chance. But 3 seconds is so fast that obviously you can't really do any proper analysis. 3 seconds is such a short amount of time that it's physically impossible to react or prepare for it. Plus, you can't predict something for just 3 seconds ahead. When you analyze the market, you can understand the overall trend. You can see, for example, that there are repeating patterns, like right here. So right now, for instance, we're seeing a cascading growth. You see that there's growth, then a decline, then another decline, and so on. At the same time, when you open a position for 3 seconds, any small change, any adjustment, it could already be fatal for you. And that's exactly why I definitely don't recommend messing around with this, just so you know. For example, I used to trade on the 1-minute chart quite often, and honestly, you can still trade by the minute just as well, especially when you see a sharp change or you can predict that a sudden impulse is about to happen. So why not open a candle for just 1 minute? That's a pretty reasonable decision, but if you trade like this all the time, analyzing the 1-minute candles also becomes much more difficult. That is, not during news releases or any sudden impulses. 1-minute candles become almost useless. Because for the most part, if you're trading based on technical analysis or even just basic scalping, 1-minute candles won't really help you much. It's better to open positions for 3 to 5 minutes, because during that time, at least something can actually happen. You might see a trend reversal there, or basically a market turnaround, and so on. Or, for example, if you see that there's a consolidation zone forming. Opening for a short period of time is definitely pointless, because you need to wait for it to break out of that zone. So once again, 3 seconds is only if you just want to play around. If you want to bring a bit of excitement for yourself, maybe you haven't felt that in a while, so why not give it a try? Maybe that's a normal option, but to consider such short-term trading as real trading, or as a way to learn how to trade, when it comes to short time frames, guys, just forget about it, please. Those are the people who show and tell you how they open positions for 3, 5, 10, 15, or 20 seconds. That's all complete nonsense. There can't be any real analysis here. And if before, for example, when I used to trade on short time frames, even for a minute or a minute and a half, I used to do that pretty often because you really can achieve some impressive results that way, meaning if you trade. For an hour and a half to 2 hours a day, by opening positions for a minute, you can simply open more trades. Accordingly, you'll be able to make more profit. But all of this becomes a much higher risk approach. You have to understand that the shorter the time you keep your position open, the harder it is to analyze. And in some cases, it's simply impossible to do. Plus, you need to realize that all of this becomes just riskier if you open positions for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or even 10 to 15 minutes or an hour. You even have a lot more opportunities to cover your position there. And to see what the overall trend of the chart is, that's already a solid, proper approach. It'll also be much easier for you to analyze and act this way. So guys, if you want to trade properly, not just for 3 seconds at a time, this is the way to go. Do you want to learn? Do you want to start understanding trading? Do you want to get consistent results? That whole thing where, you snap your fingers and suddenly you're a millionaire, and then with another snap, you go broke just as fast. Yeah, even though I just had a pretty good result and made some money, I always tell it like it is. I always tell the truth. I have no intention of selling you some kind of empty promise or anything like that. So if you want to be part of a community of people who actually achieve long-term results, make sure to join. I've left a link to my Telegram channel down below the video, like I mentioned before. Everything I offer is free. I make good money myself, so I don't charge for anything. I'll see you in the next videos, and I hope that this video will at least help save some of you from making really foolish decisions and from trading for just 3 seconds.